always aim for a strong beginning and start. Ibn Ata'illah rahimahullah, he says in his book of wisdoms, "Man ashraqat bidayatuhu ashraqat nihayatuhu," that the one who is illumined at the beginning is illumined at the end. This is really important for us to understand with any action, right? With anything, before we begin, if we start in the best possible way, and like we say, if you have a bright start, then you will most definitely have a bright ending. Many examples of this, and I guess the starting point for all of us is the niyyah, or the intention, right? If you have the correct intention, then inshallah, throughout the course of that action, whatever it may be, whether it's your prayer, whether it's fasting, whether it's recitation of the Quran, hopefully that intention, if it's pure at the beginning, it will also be pure at the end. And when we talk about intention, it's really important to understand that if the intention is wavering from the get-go, then you're really going to struggle to reset your intention towards the end. Now, with the example of the month of Ramadan, this is really important, because if you have a strong start to Ramadan, and by strong, I don't mean speed, by the way. I don't mean that you have to get more done at the beginning, which necessarily means that you're going to have a strong ending, right? Speed is not really the main factor here. A lot of people think, okay, at the beginning of Ramadan, let me just read more Quran than ever, and I will, pray more, and I'll do as much as possible, right? But that's not the issue here, because what that may lead to is burnout. And spiritual burnout is a real thing. Spiritual burnout means that you've taken on so much that later on you just can't do even the basics. You can't even do the essentials any longer, right? So we're not talking about speed here. What we're talking about is doing things with the correct intention in mind. Going forward with that, what we need to be doing is we need to maintain a level of consistency. And if you're able to do that from the beginning, then inshallah, going forward, things will be a lot easier for you. So with this wisdom, what we learn is with any act of worship, in fact, not just acts of worship, but with anything that we do in life, because this isn't just a, spiritual gem for us, but this is something that we can apply in all areas of our lives, whether it's our studies or our careers or our family lives. If we have a strong and illumined and radiant beginning, two things at the beginning, then inshallah towards the end, things will get a lot better, and the result will be definitely high and something which is really successful for us. Finally, as human beings, right, what may naturally happen is, even if you have a strong beginning and start to things, right, by the time you get to the middle, maybe those levels drop, and maybe it wasn't the same, or it isn't the same as it was at the beginning, and that's completely fine. Because our Prophet ﷺ tells us that al-a'malu bil-khawatim, that actions are actually judged and governed by the end result. So even in the middle, if you begin to waver, it's fine. It's natural. You're not always going to be able to maintain a 100% level of consistency throughout. So that's fine. But as long as by the end, inshallah, you pick yourself back up and you are able to, recalibrate and reset those intentions, then that is the main thing. So aim for that strong, radiant beginning and pick yourself up in order to have a strong ending, inshallah.